You there! This is Dave and Jason
Hey!
from DC On Screen. It's that time again. We need help from you to grow our show. But keep listening because there's something in it for you. Give us a 5-star written review on iTunes for a chance to win a free DC trade paperback, DVD, or Blu-ray valued at $15 or less. 1 in 10 will win. The winner will be randomly selected with a number generator on random.org and announced on one of our news episodes. It's pretty simple, really.
Free stuff!
Hooray! Anyway, yeah, seriously, do that. It helps us a lot. It's, like, so good. Anyway, sit back. Enjoy this brand new episode of DC On Screen.
At your leisure.
I prefer leisure.
As you please.
Welcome into DC On Screen, a show about the DC Universe properties on film and television. I am your host, David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
And, my friends, we have seen Batman, Return of the Caped Crusaders.
Yes. Oh, we're going to do spoiler-free for just a few seconds? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. The spoiler wasn't that we've actually seen the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We suspect that you may have suspected that.
That we saw the movie. Yeah.
When we said we were going to review it in the title.
Yeah.
This may be my favorite Batman movie.
That's ever existed? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And I wouldn't hate on you for it. I described it toward the end of the film. I was trying to figure out what exact 2 words would best describe it, but elegantly terrible is, I think, where I settled.
And as soon as Jason said that, I said I wouldn't put terrible anywhere near this film.
I know. Well, it was superbly stupid was the runner-up.
That'll work. But clever.
It's beautiful.
It stayed very, very true to the tone of the original Adam West Batman series. If you were at all a fan of that in any measure, you need to see this thing.
Yep.
Sadly, you can't go see it in a theater anymore, but
one day showing. Sorry,
it will be coming out on Blu-ray pretty soon. Digital.
They didn't
sooner.
actually give us a date.
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
We just didn't notice because we're shitty hosts.
Yeah, we forgot it. We'll look that up and post it somewhere.
Yeah. Well, it'll be in the show notes, folks, if I remember.
Sorry, we're in the warm, glowing aftermath of this movie.
Tweet me and tell me if you can't be bothered to Google it. Lazy bastards. So
clearly their fault.
Absolutely.
I don't know. But spoiler free. I don't know what else to.
Spoiler. I mean, we can talk about some of the performances. Adam West, Burt Ward, Julie Newmar, all clearly very old.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear the change in age, but you cannot hear the change in like how much they loved doing these roles.
Absolutely. And
I think Julie Newmar enjoys it more than she did when she was originally doing it.
Yeah, I would say so. So while there are those shortcomings, which honestly cannot be helped,
that's not even a shortcoming.
You can't, and clearly
that was charming in a way.
There is no way I would say like, hey, you guys kind of suck now. Let's replace you with someone who sounds like you, because while these people are alive, they have to be doing these roles.
Absolutely.
They didn't like even what was his name? Tucker, the director, was talking about in a
James Tucker.
Yeah, in a featurette I saw earlier this week, he was talking about how he would kind of say, like, no, Adam, I think you would have said it like this. They had to all be reminded of how to say. But you know what? They couldn't be expected to
binge watch the entire thing before they got started.
No, I think they should have. But
I think they should have. I based on how excited the I guess I'll call it the support staff here, the young guns that were brought in to I think they did binge watch it.
I got the feeling, especially from watching the special features after it and actually seeing these cats and how they were acting, I think they just watch it all every day anyway.
Yeah.
Like, these guys...
Those guys were excited. And also on point.
They were on point. Like, I was thinking... Like,
that was a better Romero than Romero does.
Yeah, I was thinking they were going to try to split the difference and do like hey, we'll try to do like a Joker from Super Friends or something.
No.
Dude, this Romero, like, short of actually getting Mark Hamill to come in and do his Cesar Romero...
Yeah, which is
phenomenal and ridiculously on point. And you'll never be able to hear Mark Hamill's Joker without just hearing a more sinister Cesar Romero.
Yeah.
Short of that, all these guys did a really good job.
I mean, the main thing we knew, without spoilers, you knew the Riddler, Penguin, Joker and Catwoman were our main cast and crew here, aside from the basics. And man, no one here loses points.
No,
that was absolutely.
It was on point, and the writing doesn't suffer either. Like they have all of the alliteration.
Oh God, yes.
Oh my! It's just so good.
They averaged about when they went to alliterate. By my recollection, they averaged about 4.5 words per phrase that were all the same beginning letter. It was that was fantastic, and it kind of. How do I put it? The vocabulary was exactly where I expected it to be. A few high-end words, but just because at this point you're reaching for a way to get in.
Rarely did I see on the original series where they would poke fun at the police quite as much as they did in this movie. It was
wonderfully brutal. Well, we may leave the specifics to that.
Yeah, let's leave the specifics. But one of my favorite things from in the first episode, Hi Diddle Riddle.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, it's the Riddler. Who among you men are man enough to take on this?
It's a circle of lieutenants,
and they all just look around and drop their heads in shame. And O'Hara's like, yep, just kind of nods. Commissioner Gordon goes over the phone. They really played that up, and the writer, I can't remember the guy's name, clearly a huge fan. He did write by the material. I am more than happy to accept this as part of that canon. Yeah.
It did. It felt like a very special episode.
It did, and oh God, man, from the very beginning, I had a dopey grin on my face the entire time, from the music, just everything,
Music was great.
Just the tone, every piece of dialogue was so on point.
The
props, the the giant signs.
The fact that Gotham is deserted except for everyone that's there. There are no citizens in Gotham unless they're extremely convenient to the plot.
Yep. Really, really wonderful. Plot is just as zany, just as ridiculous as you remember the show being.
And they do a cool thing with the plot where they start out with, in the first 20-25 minutes, you're checking your watch going, wait, is it over?
Yeah,
it
absolutely
They kind of get right into the meat of what you're expecting. I'll spoil this. In the first 25 minutes, you're going to get, bing, zang, pow.
Right.
You're getting all that.
And the way it was structured, it was in almost 20-minute segments, like the TV show, where here's the part where Batman and Robin are trussed up in the giant thing. Yeah. Here's this segment of the show, and then it was like 3 episodes.
And in a way, they kind of took all their episode types and strung them together,
and it was really well done.
Yeah.
I just can't get over how good the Riddler was. That dude playing the Riddler sounded like Frank Gorshin.
Oh, God, that laugh was.
This is exactly what
perfect.
I wanted. So one of my big downfalls for the movie, though, I really missed Bill Dozier narrating. Meanwhile, at Wayne Manor, I really could have dealt with that. I really wanted that.
That would have been good. My big one was they don't have exactly the same. There's one shot coming out of when you're coming out of the Batcave. There's one shot that I wish they'd just done a picture perfect recreation of that.
Right. Animated. I kind of felt like we just needed a rotoscope of that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Footage,
just rotoscope that one piece of footage.
That stock footage from the pilot
that they
episode
shot one time and never thought about it
where
again.
Burt Ward had a swollen hand.
Yeah,
because he was supposed to be a stunt actor and he didn't.
Dislocated his freaking pinky, I think, or something.
I don't remember that. I don't remember what the story was there exactly, but
he gets. I remember him saying he got in the car and looked over and was like, "Well, why wasn't Adam West here?" He was like, "Oh, I'm a stunt double." Wait, why don't I have a stunt double? Shh.
You do. He's over there eating with Adam West. So there's a great rotating Batmobile shot, akin to the first time we see the refit of the Enterprise in the first Star Trek movie, where it's just oh my God, so much time spent on this car. Mm-hmm. Jason leans over and says, "Do it? I don't really need this." I'm like, I absolutely needed that. I really it was like a CGI.
Well, I leaned over and was like, I know I don't need that shot, but I wanted it. It's like, no, I needed it.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
So, absolutely go out, see this movie right the hell now. Well, you can't.
Well, you can't. As soon as it's available.
We'll as soon as it's available. Sorry. Choosing you. Yeah, just go ahead and look that up, buddy.
Stall him for a couple seconds.
No. Oh, not that way.
No.
So, I'm pretty good with heading into spoiler territory at this point.
Well, I'll try to get him the date first, at least.
Yeah, we'll get you the date first.
Seems entirely fair.
When's it coming out digitally?
You got a digital. November 1st.
I believe that's just for the Blu-ray. I think it's earlier for the...
It's a digital and Blu-ray. Oh, so got the Blu-ray.
Okay. So...
If it comes out digitally before that,
digitally,
good for you for finding it. We'll update.
Yeah.
Update our information to inform.
I don't understand why we have to have all these separate release dates. I know it's just...
I never understood that.
Whatever.
The digital before thing seems like it's a snake chewing on its own tail to me, but...
Yeah. So, I will say this, one last thing before we get into spoiler territory. It has been announced, if you're a listener to the show, you already know this, but it has been announced that there's going to be a sequel with William Shatner as Harvey Dent / Two-Face, a character that never appeared on that original series. After seeing this and seeing what they did, I am even more so just chomping at the bit to see that sequel. Like, they've even got, like, Harvey Dent looks like old school 60s Captain Kirk from the original Star Trek series. I'm just so excited. I just can't hide it. I'm about to... Oh, no. Sorry.
I'll refrain. Oh, wait. Even better. All right. Digital release is available October 11th. So by the time you hear this, it's available right now and go freaking watch it.
Amazon, baby. Amazon Prime.
I'm still pimping them. They pay us nothing. I pay them, in fact, for the privilege of pimping them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But available now by the time you hear this, and November 1st if you just absolutely have to have that copy. And you may absolutely have to have that copy.
I'm not. I'm totally waiting for the Blu-ray. I just saw it in a theater.
Yeah, so you're good.
Yeah.
You can last a few weeks.
It's going on the shelf next to the complete Batman television series.
That's 3 weeks in a day you'll have to last. But
I'm good.
You're good.
But
I mean, you just managed to get... Yeah, I understand.
I don't want to burn myself out on it, man.
Yeah. All right, maybe time to spoil it up?
Spoil it up. If you're going to cut out now, DCOnscreen.com for every episode. DCOnscreen.com. Normally we don't do spoiler-free segments, so you don't have to worry about that.
Normally we just are uncaring assholes, just plowing right through.
Sorry, I got a very specific visual in my head. So
we'll go into that on some other podcast.
I'm not sure what there really is to spoil.
Only a couple of the bits.
Yeah.
That I feel we can all enjoy together.
That was very Shatner-esque.
Yeah.
You guys should have seen it. He threw his hand out and everything.
Did like a grasping the globe. Yeah.
Oh, did you happen upon the Star Trek Beyond bloopers they put out?
No.
There's a bit where, Chris Pine goes, Warp Factor 1, Mr. Sulu. And John Cho just goes, what are you doing, Shatner now?
Yes? What? What of it?
Yeah. By the way, Star Trek Beyond, totally a thing I'm buying.
Yeah.
As soon as it comes out. That was a phenomenal movie.
It was good.
Very good. Speaking of Star Trek, they go to space. They go to space in this thing.
And I realized after I was...
Star Trek and Batman.
Yeah, I was sitting there, somewhere in the middle of the anti-gravity scene, I kind of thought...
That's the way to start a sentence. Somewhere in the anti-gravity scene.
I started to think to myself, like, man, if you had told me I was going to come watch this movie and there was going to be an anti-gravity, and I got halfway into the thought and thought, no, I'd have believed you.
Yeah.
I'd have believed you. I would have completely bought it.
Yeah. Like, they actually announced in the synopsis that even to outer space, and I went, there's going to be an anti-gravity with swoosh scene. I didn't think
it
swoosh.
was all there.
I didn't think swoosh, but I thought,
I think there was actually a swoosh.
There was a swoosh.
Yeah.
I just didn't think specifically a swoosh. I'm just like, they're gonna do a pow wham,
missed pow and whams and everything,
fight in space,
which was just even in this universe I'm watching, going, this is nonsense. How did Riddler dodge? Yeah. How did Riddler dodge it? You can't do that. You can't change. You can't do any of that.
So there is a bit where Batman gets hit. And he seriously sees 3 Catwomen, and they actually turn into the Catwomen, the 3 actresses,
the 3 actual actresses
who play Catwoman on the show,
and get their own pretty great impersonations.
Absolutely, just so wonderful.
Eartha Kitt with all the rrrs you could imagine.
Mm-hmm. For like the one line she had, they worked them in.
They worked it in.
We did get to see a bit of Egghead. That was a lot of fun.
That amused me.
I wish I hadn't known, but Scott from the Suicide Squad cast had to ruin it for me.
I baited him. He said we were going to enjoy it, and I said, excellent. I couldn't help myself. And he said, yeah, he's there. Oh, man. Okay.
And I just responded with, shh. But it was phenomenal either way. Man, I loved seeing Bookworm. I was sad that that Roddy McDowell has passed, because
I know. If he hadn't, they would have written him in a role.
Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know if our longtime listeners even know this. Like, I am obsessed with Roddy McDowell.
You are obsessed with Roddy.
Specifically, aside from Batman, with that pilot episode of Night Gallery. Portafoy.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason and I used to call each other Portafoy 3 or 4 times a day for 2 years?
I don't know, we got obsessed. It just became a thing we couldn't stop doing. One of those jokes that wasn't even funny anymore, and then started to get funny again after you did it for a long time.
I don't know. I always thought it was delightful. It always just delighted the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But Roddy McDowell, love that guy. I would love it if they did a sequel with just Bookworm. Just Bookworm. I don't need any other villains. I need Bookworm.
Somebody's got to be able to do a decent Roddy McDowell.
What's funny is my mom grew up watching Roddy McDowell, but knows him primarily from an old movie called Lord Love a Duck. So that's how she refers to him. So,
God.
I'd be like, oh man, I love Bookworm. He's great. He's hilarious. And she's like, Lord Love a Duck. Okay. You don't like him, Dave.
Are you trying to convince you? No, I do.
I'm like, no, he's amazing.
He's great.
He's also the Mad Hatter. Okay.
Yeah, he's a storied participant in the Batman mythos. But
at this juncture, at least, yeah.
One of the parts where you think your suspension of disbelief, which you should, by the way, not bother bringing into the movie. It's a full length version of Batman 66. So,
it is. It certainly is. Even the guy even though like Commissioner Gordon has the mustache, the dude doing Commissioner Gordon sounds like Commissioner Gordon.
A little bit, yeah. And a lot of these were again, a lot of the voices were just phenomenal. Steven Weber doing Alfred.
That was just on point.
I did not know he had that in him.
I didn't either.
I like that guy.
I didn't know he had funny in him.
I didn't. Wait, I know he's got funny in him. I know he's got funny in him.
He does. I like sour grapes.
But I didn't know he had that. But some of the actual the bits in that, you knew they were going to go to space, and you're thinking like, what, does he have a rocket? And then you pull out a freaking bat rocket, and with a bat ignition, a bat scope that was went unmentioned in the background.
Yeah.
It's everything you could have dreamed of.
They have Golden Age Batman costumes in the Batcave.
Oh yeah, and the bat analyzer was it's like seeing an old friend.
The bat anti-isotope spray.
Yeah, there's a duel, like a back and forth duel. Well, first of all, there's a gadget duel, which was fantastic.
It's a gadget duel, a utility belt duel between Batman and Robin.
But there's like the bat spray, then the bat antidote, and then the bat anti-antidote, and then the.
I mean, we're in a spoiler section. Okay, at this point, like in the film, Catwoman has given Batman what she refers to as batnip.
Batnip.
To make him evil. And it appeared not to work, but then he started getting a little darker, which was brilliant because they got to play with a lot of the darker versions of Batman.
Oh.
You guys get to hear Adam West. Dude, Adam West puts on a pair of bat brass knuckles.
Yes.
And starts beating the holy shit out of these Batman villains. And they're like, you're not playing by the rules. And
like Robin's sitting there the whole time just... It's like watching his hero fall.
So, the villains are like, you're not playing by the rules, you can't do this. Because Batman's talking about, like, throwing him out of an airlock.
Yeah.
Like, and you hear Adam West say some of the iconic Batman lines from over the years. He tells, Riddler, you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Yeah.
And as he's coming for Joker, tells him, was it Joker? What? Sorry, I've got my sister here telling me I'm wrong. She should be she's a welcome participant in any of the podcasts. I don't know why she doesn't want to. She's just over here fact checking me. It's like screen junkies.
But doing it well.
Right. And I'm not professional, so I'm not listening to her. I'm like,
what?
What? Speak up, damn it.
We need something like that now.
But anyway, you hear Adam West get to say, this is an operating table and I'm the surgeon.
Yeah.
From Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
So... that's what I needed in my life, and I didn't know it.
And yeah, you're complete now.
I am a little complete. Guys, at the end of this thing, like, there's a whole back and forth with he and Julie. I'm ruining the whole thing for everybody.
What were spoilers?
For him and Julie Newmar.
We're just all geeking out together now.
A Catwoman tells him that she wants him to retire. Then both retire from their lifestyles.
Yeah. I'll go with you right now.
I'll go with you right now if we can both retire and go. What was it? Go drink coffee
we can
in Italy or
move
something.
To Europe and go drink tea in a little cafe. And Robin replies with, "Holy unsatisfactory ending, Batman."
I know I had to annoy several of the 5 people who were in the theater with us.
Yeah, it was a slim crowd.
But I had to clap.
Yeah.
There were like at least 4 occasions where I had to clap. Yeah. Just a little. I was so excited. And that dig at The Dark Knight Rises just did my soul good. It just...
I knew it would.
It was a cleansing balm.
I knew it would. Oh, and you wondered if there were going to be bombs. They had them at the end credits. That was good.
Oh, that was wonderful.
The end credits.
Batman running around, juggling bombs.
Dribbling a bomb.
The Batman vehicles in this thing, the whirly birds.
Yeah.
The souped up.
Everything you wanted. The
evil Batman Batmobile.
Everything you wanted.
Not everything I wanted, but most of the things I wanted.
A lot of the things you wanted.
They got to save something for a sequel.
Well, that's true. That's true. And they had, there's a tradition in 66 of having really bad, like, montages between scenes that were clearly cheaply done.
Yes.
And they
did it.
Held that tradition proudly.
They did it, guys. Yeah, if you were at all into the 66 Batman, you got to check this thing out.
Oh, one of the ones that got me just really excited during it, and we're only at like the 25-minute mark in the film at this point. But man, you knew it had to get into weird, bizarre props at some point, and it wasn't enough that the Joker had like a bunch of restraining ribbons that came out of the end of the guitar. That wasn't quite enough.
I'd forgotten about that.
When he tracks them down. By the way they tracked everybody down was
just with bat binoculars.
No, the logic they used, like, well, nothing. Well, what other things for not goose egg?
Yeah.
Just perfect. And,
all of that was beautiful. Yeah.
And like using the bat analyzer to take the piece of foil. And
what does it mean, Batman? The villains leave them like a Joker balloon with a piece of foil on the end of it. And they take it back to the Batcave. He's like, "What does it mean, Batman?" And Batman goes, "It means we've been foiled."
Yeah. But in their hubris, they may have given us a clue. Takes it to the bat analyzer. Clearly, they find starch, which ends in them finding gravy, and obviously ending up at a frozen foods TV dinner factory, where ultimately they are placed as the entrees on a giant, human-sized TV dinner. I couldn't be happier.
On a conveyor belt leading into a giant oven that has a big sign that says "Giant Oven."
It says "Giant Oven," obviously. Which they use the acidity of a lemon tart to help weaken the
bonds,
so he can. This thing could not be more perfectly stupid if it tried. It was fantastic.
I mean, you even get a whole speech, and they loved it. They put this in a couple of little advertisements for the Blu-ray coming out. But I laughed really hard when I saw it in the theater. The Batman gives Robin a whole speech about how they shouldn't jaywalk, especially at night.
He was about to recklessly run across the road.
He's like, of course you're right, Batman. And he's
like,
a whole quickly to the crosswalk.
And they go, and they stand at the crosswalk.
They stand at the crosswalk
and await the stopping of the cars.
And they slowly walk across, waving at the vehicles. Oh my gosh, it was good. Thomas Luna did a phenomenal Chief O'Hara, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know anyone who didn't do. Oh, they had a wonderful bit with Aunt Harriet. There was a running bit throughout the whole thing. Like, did I read this joke wrong, or what do y'all think? Like, it was clearly the I know what your secret is. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
All the gay jokes you can think of. And the part I loved about this was the first scene where you see Bruce and Robin. They're just he's like practicing in a ballerina outfit in front. Like Bruce is just sitting calmly on the couch while he's a few feet away in his skin tight thing. I was like, really, after all the jokes on 66, y'all going to open with this bit? And then Harriet comes in and puts the lantern on. Oh, good, cool.
Yeah.
We're going to make a whole thing.
It was pretty great, guys. One disappointing factor.
Oh.
I mean, you can't hate on it too much, but I miss Batgirl.
Oh, I did
really
keep hoping that he would say like, "Oh, my niece was coming over" or something.
It would be his daughter in that generation.
Sorry. Yeah, I was hoping it would be a somehow. Man, she would have been great on this.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, if Von Craig's no longer with us.
I know. I just remembered that as we were talking. Maybe sad.
Yeah, but absolutely go see this. And guys, please let us know what you thought about the movie. I mean,
I'm
on Twitter all the time. It's my whole life now. Come
join he.
Tweet with me. It's the closest we can get to holding hands.
Intertwining binary.
Hearts and bones, y'all.
Uh-huh.
Hearts and bones. Some Paul Simon up in here.
I didn't even know that one.
I know you didn't.
We I think it's safe to say we love this thing. It's as stupid as you think it's going to be. I mean, it's
thankfully.
Yeah, it's just brilliantly awful.
I felt like the 6-year-old who discovered the show again.
Yeah.
Like all those feelings that I had when I was a kid just came rushing back.
You know what I'm glad I didn't do though was watch. I was watching Batman 66 like early this year. I went through and kind of clicked through and watched it again. Mm-hmm. But I didn't watch any episodes leading up to this, and that was probably a good thing.
I didn't either. I purposely didn't. I didn't want to get sick of the tropes because
this
movie, just like, what was that Monty Python? Now
for something completely different. Yeah. That's the effect it causes.
It has that effect. You get about 30 minutes in, and you just cannot laugh anymore. It's like your brain is registering, yes, this is enjoyable. This is funny. I should be laughing. Yeah. But you can't do it. And then
I thought they did a good job with like giving you a down period where you
But for that last 30 minutes, I was back.
Yeah. They gave you like a story, and they finally got you into something. They give you a different kind of laugh for a little while.
And let me say,
it went back to making fun of the show itself.
You haven't lived until you've seen an evil Batman replicate himself and take over every job in Gotham.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen. You haven't lived until you've seen Batman walking down the street in a dress pushing a baby carriage.
Yeah. One of my favorite bits in the whole thing was like he walks into to Gordon O'Hara's I'll call it their office because I've never seen O'Hara anywhere else. But he walks into their office and basically tells them you're not worthy of the uniform, strip down. Mm-hmm. And like Gordon starts taking off he's not wearing a damn uniform, he's just wearing a suit.
He's not.
He does. He takes off his blazer and the whole thing.
And Batman puts on his glasses.
Puts his glasses on and his blazer under the cape. That was his uniform, apparently, was that brown jacket. I loved it. I loved it so much. And then you look over and the other one's just got like O'Hara's cap on and like a couple of the signage on it.
Oh my god. And the bit where like you have Batman dressed as one of the Batman dressed as O'Hara in that scene, and he just replies, Begorra. They're just playing the parts now.
Oh yeah.
This was close to a Simpsons version of the 66 Batman.
It really was. It was followed by another just perfect bit where like he takes over Mayor Lindsay's office and he sits down and takes the Mayor Lindsay placard off his desk and then immediately pulls a Mayor Batman off. Like this thing has just been sitting there for years. Apparently Lindsay's just been waiting on the inevitable moment when Batman came in and took over his job because he knows.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. Like this guy has just been like ousted from office and he's thinking, I knew it would happen one day. I was just waiting on it.
And I already had this piece of brass planted.
Instead of fighting, forming a resistance of any sort. No, just have his placard waiting for him.
No, and that poor baker just
Batman just walks in and
walks into a bakery
chef's hat. Just takes a chef's hat.
And that actually wasn't as still the taking things was still the best thing in that he fires Alfred and like holds out his hand.
Another dig I feel at the Dark Knight Rises because he was like, if you ever fired me, I knew that you had been taken over by some evil mind control. Oh my lord.
No, he fires Alfred though, and like Alfred's stunned a little bit, but Bruce holds out his hand and he hands over the duster. That was official material that he had to actually dispossess himself of before he was allowed to leave the mansion.
That was great.
I thought he was going to make him actually take the robe off too, but I guess he gets to keep the robe.
Which, the that the ability to jab at other more current iterations makes sense. West was just interviewed, and they asked him what he thought about Ben Affleck's Batman and the Batman title, and he says, "Well, it's very smart of him to refer to himself as the Batman, try to erase all the other iterations, but I don't give a damn. I know I'm Batman."
his response was in effect, yeah, he can try.
Right. And he didn't really care for all the violence and whatnot, and he doesn't feel like it's Batman. But hey, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, West. You wanted to put Batman on a ranch in New Mexico, and then take him. Well, I guess you did get to take him to outer space.
He did get to take him to outer space. Yeah. So help me, if in the sequel he's a rancher, I'm gonna be so proud. I'm gonna be super impressed.
That's what I want. What I want is the William Shatner thing. I would like to see where they kind of take some more modern characters and bring them into the 66 canon like they did with the Batman 66 comics. Like they brought in Harley Quinn, a number of others. But what I've always wanted to do, and when we lived together, I was talking about doing this. I wanted to make my own continuation of Batman 66, but set it in the 80s and have like parachute pant Nightwing. And
finally make sense of the rat tail.
Yeah, the Bright Knight Returns.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do.
Batgirl, but like she's got all of her her top is all onto one side with that little loopy thing they used to do. Yeah. Bring in George Reeves Superman. That's why we're not allowed to do things.
No, this is all on me, and I think it's an amazing idea.
Yeah.
I won't even sue if you guys do it. I'll just sit back and enjoy it. Just like, here's the kernel. Here's the embryo. Go plant me. You go grow a thing.
Go grow this for me.
Let me watch it.
Yeah.
For God's sake, please.
You don't have the money to have that green thumb, no.
I have a green thumb, but I don't think it's healthy.
It probably needs to be taken a look at. It's okay.
Doctor told me it smelled funny.
We have time.
I got nothing, man. I got nothing else.
We've gone for this thing. Half the length of this movie at this point.
Yeah.
Just re-enjoying
Let's go again. No. I love the whole thing for the most part. Just, again, a little awkward that they're aged, but they can't help it, so I'd give them a pass on that.
I honestly thought it was more charming that they were.
In some
it felt
ways,
like the material had aged with me. Cause, I mean...
Penguin's blimp!
Big old Pokemon blimp? Yeah.
A big Pokemon penguin blimp, yeah. Oh my god.
I don't know enough about Pokemon to guess what that looked like, but so help me. I feel like
a penguin Pokemon. I
felt like I could catch it if I just kept walking the earth long enough.
Okay. Absolutely go check this out, guys. I'm done. Jason, you done?
Yeah, we're calling it.
Thank you so much for listening. You can find every episode at DCOnScreen.com. You can find us on Stitcher, iTunes.
You can find the last 100 episodes on iTunes, I think.
Huh?
I think you can find the last 100 episodes.
Is it 100? Yeah.
They have a limit, but...
They have a cap. That's why I say you can find every episode at DCOnScreen.com.
But they have a lot of them.
If you want to talk to us, we're on Facebook, Twitter, DCOnScreen@gmail.com. Enter our contest. Do the 5-star review on iTunes, written review, and maybe you'll get something cool if you win. Trade paperback, DVD, or Blu-ray, valued at $15 or less. It won't be this movie because it's kind of expensive right now. It just came out.
Yeah.
Be realistic. What the hell's wrong with you?
Maybe the digital version?
No, I think that shit's $20.
Is it? Damn.
Worth every penny. We love you, Warner Brothers. Thank you for making our dreams come true.
It's a $10 movie, and you pay the other $10 for the lawyers involved in getting this together.
I want an extended cut on Blu-ray with Bill Dozier going, meanwhile, at Wayne Manor.
5 more minutes with boops and pals and booms. And we saw Down. Where's Up? I want to find him and the other goon.
Oh, yeah. That's a good call.
Yeah. That's my favorite henchman of all time, by the way. It just, because I know it's an abbreviation, but his shirt just says goon.
Yeah, that's good.
There's a lot.
So anyway, yeah. Until next time. Oh, yeah. Charles is going to get onto us. I keep forgetting to do this lately. We're a proud member of the Giant Size Team Up Network, GiantSizeTeamUp.com. See, this is what happens. We let him on the show one time, and now I just forget every time that we're part of the network.
Hey, you just feel like he's been represented, so what are we worried about?
We're also a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network. We'll be back with a whole lot of freaking shows. Because there are a lot of shows, like we missed Gotham, Lucifer, and Supergirl just tonight doing this. So That's coming Saturday.
My poor DVR's worn out.
My poor Saturday's gone.
It's true.
So yeah. Until then, guys, keep some DC on your screen.
Ooh.